Oskaloosa Indians basketball action is on the air.
Brought to you by Mahaska, Bank Iowa, Clow Valve Company, Kelly Style Insurance, Oskaloosa Area Chamber, Petrito Orthodontics, Hawkeye Real Estate, Swim Sports, Awards and Screen Printing, Raymond James Financial Services, William Penn University, Fairway, Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, Roxfort's Decorating Center, Pella Printing, Penn Central Mall, Oskaloosa Vision Center, Robert Auld Investments, and Mahaska Drug. And now, live Oskaloosa basketball action
on the No Coast Network.
And welcome in. We are live from the Oskaloosa High School Gymnasium, getting set for another doubleheader in Little Hawkeye Conference action. It is the Newton Cardinals to take on the Oskaloosa Indians in a girl-boy doubleheader here in the LHC. My name's Emery Songer, and I'll be giving you all the action this evening on 99.5 FM and AM 740 KMZN and the KMZN mobile app with a live video stream with the help of the Oskaloosa Video Productions program here at Oskaloosa High School, and that is on radio KMZN.com and MCG Channel 7. The Oskaloosa girls warming up along with the Newton Cardinals, which should be a competitive first game. Oskaloosa winless on the season at 0-17 overall and 0-10 in Little Hawkeye Conference play, but Newton coming in with a 10-game losing streak. They are just 3-15 overall and 1-9 in the Little Hawkeye. Their only win was against Oskaloosa in the first meeting between the two teams earlier this season, where Newton really took care of business against a young and up-and-coming Oskaloosa team. And Oskaloosa may be winless. The goose egg may be in the win column, but these girls have been learning, and you can see the improvements being made on a game-to-game basis. And we're going to see this team back at full strength with Amanda Fay, Ellie Henry already back available. They were both unavailable due to illness last week on Friday night as Oskaloosa took on Dallas Center Grimes. But a much better effort against DCG. Although they only scored 23 points, they only allowed 60, which is an improvement. The turnovers were down a little bit, but those are the things that you need to continue to see improvements on. Not a lot of turnovers. You want to make sure that you're making the right passes. You don't want to be dribbling into traffic, and we'll see if Oskaloosa can also score the ball a little bit more. Newton averages about 38 points per game. Oski only about 25 points per game, so that will be a discrepancy. We'll see if the Indians can find a way to try to make a balance and power against the opposition for once, to be able to try to get themselves some points in the half court. And it's something they've struggled with mightily this season, but something that they have been continuously improving on as they continue to raise their level of basketball skill throughout the year. By the way, Newton's leading scorer on the season's name is Randy Walters. She's a senior at 5'8", 12.5 points per game, but she will not be playing tonight as she is ineligible. So Oskaloosa catches a break there. Marley Denberger at 8.5 points per game for Oskaloosa actually is the leading scorer between the two teams that we'll see play tonight. Oskaloosa very well could find a way to get this victory, and they would love to be able to do that, as they do have Norwalk later in the schedule. That could very well be a win as well, but with the athletes that Norwalk has, it may be more feasible for the Indians to try to line this one up as their one regular season victory, as Coach Brandon Sharp and his Newton Cardinals, undermanned, shorthanded, looking to come on the road and get a win against Oskaloosa, while the Indians look for their first win of the season. By the way, later tonight, the Oskaloosa boys, currently ranked number 1 in the state at 15-1 overall, 10-0 in the Little Hawkeye, well on their way to a conference championship if they hold serve. And they're taking on a Newton team that's 9-5 overall and 5-5 in the Little Hawkeye. But last Friday in a game against Grinnell, Newton only won by 6, 69-63. But Newton's Garrett Sturtz broke the single-game scoring record for Newton with a 47-point performance. He is averaging 32 points per game this season and scored 44 against the Indians the first time the two teams met in what was Oskaloosa's tightest game of the season. Just 3 points separated the Cardinals and the Indians, but Oskaloosa held on for what was a 56-53 win. So that'll be coming up later on tonight. But first, the girls' game. Oskaloosa looking for their first win of the season, and it is possible against the Newton Cardinals. We'll take a break and come back with more on the pregame show, get you the starting lineups, and also have the opening tap for you right after this. It's Oskaloosa basketball on the No Coast Network.
At Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, we're proud to keep the Oskaloosa Indians and their fans safe and feeling good on and off the field. Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy is the expert in injury care, orthopedics, and sports rehab, with a new facility in Oskaloosa, complete with an open gym area in addition to several private treatment rooms. If pain is bugging you, come see the experts at Kinetic Edge for a free injury screen. Find out more, including why the Oskaloosa Indians trust Kinetic Edge at kineticedgept.com.
Dreams start early, illustrated straight from the heart. Big or small, dreams take hard work to grow into reality. To bring your dreams to life, sometimes you need a little help. So surround yourself with people who believe in your dreams and count on Bank Iowa to help you reach them. Bank Iowa, for the dreamer in all of us.
At Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, getting your prescription filled is easy. The large covered drive-thru and easy access to the front door is convenient, and the friendly staff is always ready to help you. With a variety of goods and home decor, Mahaska Drug is sure to have the perfect gift for any occasion. Have your favorite photos developed and framed at Mahaska Drug's framing counter, and cherish your memories for years to come. It's all at Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, where they have been committed to a healthy community for over 20 years. Call 673-3439 or stop in today.
Main Street Oskaloosa is dedicated to giving our community the downtown they want and deserve. We bring vibrant community events like Art on the Square, Christmas in July, and the Lighted Christmas Parade to downtown Oskaloosa. We believe in the unique value of our district and work to support business here. Our city's history is important and it drives our efforts in the revitalization and preservation of downtown. In 2017, we received the Signature Project Award for our inspiring and innovative placemaking efforts. Our goal is a downtown Oskaloosa can be proud of. For more information, contact Emily Brown at 641-672-2591.
We love to help people with their smiles. Petrito Orthodontics of Ottumwa and Oskaloosa is all about creating beautiful smiles and increased self-esteem that lasts a lifetime. We specialize in creating individualized smiles by committing to make each visit a memorable experience. Our office is equipped with state-of-the-art technology to ensure optimum results. For help with your smile, call Petrito Orthodontics.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
The Oskaloosa High School Gymnasium housing a doubleheader between two conference foes and now brand new football district foes. The new districts came out late last week, and Newton is going to be back down to Class 3A as Class 4A shrunk from 48 to 42 teams. And they have also gotten into a district with Oskaloosa, Pella, Knoxville, and Grinnell, and South Tama. So a 6-team district, which is made up 5 of the 6 schools are within our listening area, and Newton and Oskaloosa get to renew a football rivalry we haven't seen in a little while, at least since I've been in Oskaloosa. So going to be interesting to see how that all pans out. We'll be seeing plenty of Newton, not only in all of the conference sports, but also within the district in football starting in the fall of 2018. We got more important things to worry about right now, though, including this girls' basketball game between the Newton Cardinals and the Oskaloosa Indians. Between the two teams, just 3 wins. All of them are Newton's wins, but they have lost their last 10 games. Brandon Sharp and his team are also dealing with losing their leading scorer in Randy Walters, who unable to play due to ineligibility for the last portion of the season. So this is a golden opportunity for Oskaloosa to try to take what they've learned against some of the top competition like the Indianolas and the Grinnells and the Pellas of this conference, and try to make it happen against a team in Newton that has struggled every bit that Oskaloosa has. You look at Grinnell, and I'm going to actually look at the Grinnell boys here. Coach, the coach of the Grinnell boys basketball team, his name is Scott Sharp, and he's had an amazing success at Grinnell, and even as recently as a couple of years ago, making long journeys to the sub-state finals, making state tournaments, producing great athletes, the Eli Dunns of the world. But unfortunately this year, if you're a Grinnell boys basketball fan, you've had no wins to cheer for either. Who would have thought in their lifetime that Grinnell's boys basketball team would have 0 wins heading into the last couple of weeks of the season? The reason I bring this up is, even though Coach J.C. White's just in her first season, this is hardly a an indictment of her coaching ability, the fact that Oskaloosa is 0-17 this season and 0-10 in Little Hawkeye Conference play. This has a lot more to do with just trying to develop a program that lost several seniors from last year's team that already only won 2 games, and trying to kind of piece together a new philosophy around this team. We've seen plenty of sophomores and freshmen playing major minutes for Coach White, and now she's even gone as far as to trying to pull some of those players. Like we saw Kaylee Johnson play in the second half of the junior varsity game. She will be available, of course, for the varsity game, but she dressed and played in the entire second half of that junior varsity game. Jillian Jennings played most of that game as well, trying to continue to address the development of these players as they are young and they are learning, and they're going to try to continue to learn while this season wears on. It's not easy, and they've played several tough competitions that tough competitive teams that is really on the scoreboard. It's not been fun to see, or I'm sure to be a par for those girls on the floor. But overall, there will be a light at the end of this tunnel. And Coach White knows that she's going to have some athletes that she's going to be able to mold and develop as time wears on. And that's something that I'm excited to see how Coach White is able to do that with the help of the middle school coaches, including former head coach at the varsity level, Steve Kaizen, and even all the way down to 5th, 6th grade. And before that, if you look at North Mahaska, just 10 minutes to the north of New Sharon, they're 5 starters of an 18-0 team. They're 18-0 going into tonight. Yes, North Mahaska 18-0, number 3 in the state. All 5 of their starters are sophomores. Coach L.E. Moore says, you know why they're so good? They've played together since they were in 3rd grade. And that's something that Coach White's going to have to continue to develop as we move forward, not only here at the varsity level and the players she already has, but also the players that she's hoping to have in the next 3, 4, 5 years. And that's where we're going to see really the turnaround come for this girls basketball team. It would be awesome to see them have a competitive matchup. It's been a long time, several weeks since they have had a competitive game, especially within this conference. So this would be fun to be able to have a competitive game at least for a few quarters, and potentially, who knows, if things go well, you might be able to find yourself lined up for a victory later in the night. So we'll see how things go. But first, let's take a listen in to the playing of our national anthem. The Star Spangled Banner, as always, a great start to an athletic event here in the United States of America. And now let's get to the starting lineups. First for the visitors from Newton, the Cardinals, under head coach Brandon Sharp. The first starter is senior Anna Forsyth. She stands 5'6" as Newton, wearing their away gray uniforms, a dark charcoal gray with white numbers and letters trimmed in red. Newton across the chest, numbers on the front of the back. They'll shoot at our left hoop in the first half. Second starter we saw there was Marcelina Marvelli, a 5'5" senior who now functions as the leading scorer for this team in terms of statistics. It was Rachel Rhodes in number 20, a junior, 5'7", joined by the 5'7" junior Peyton Maher. And finally, rounding out the 5 is Allie Bestel, a 6-foot tall senior who will be the tallest player on the floor at any given time for the Cardinals and Indians in this game. Here are the Indians. Oskaloosa introducing their starters. Mary Nelson going to be the first to be introduced. She's a 5'7" sophomore, sharpshooter, a good outside shooter. Megan Mormon drawing the start, 5'5" sophomore. She's going to get a spot start to see what she can bring to the table here at the varsity level. Just a sophomore, as mentioned. Here is junior Lindsay Holmberg. She comes in at 5'5". She has 3 years of varsity experience. Emma Kelderman, the 5'7" junior. And finally, the Oskaloosa leading scorer, Marley Denberger, 5'10". We'll see if the Indians can rely on her to get to double figures here and try to put the pressure on a Newton team that has struggled the last couple of games. They lost to Grinnell 65-22 and lost to Sheraton, a smaller opponent, 58-26. So the scoring has been tough without Walters available. Gives you an opportunity here if you're Oskaloosa. Try to have an opponent that can score on a similar level with you. Try to get your first win of the season. And that'd be definitely nice for these young players to enjoy a little taste of success. Junior varsity team, of course, has won a few games this season, and they have been very competitive. Lost by 10 earlier today to the Newton JV, but that's definitely a different dynamic against junior varsity competition. Varsity games are completely different. So to be able to taste some varsity success would certainly be a reward for these girls for trying to learn and develop. And it has been tough. There have been a lot of roadblocks during the season, but I'm sure they would take a win and really understand those lessons a little bit better as Newton wins the tip. We're underway as Newton has the ball shooting at our left basket. On the left wing, here's a cross-court pass to the right side. On the right wing, Marcelino Marvelli. She is a solid three-point shooter, better than 30%. You can't leave her open, and she'll fire it from the top of the key immediately, but rims in and out. Rebound Nelson, and Oskaloosa going the other way, wearing white uniforms trimmed in maroon. Maroon numbers on the front and the back. Indians across the chest. They'll shoot at our right hoop here in the first half. Denberger, nice pass from Kelderman, sets her up, and she'll lay it in. Good start for Oskaloosa. That was an excellent look from Kelderman on the outside. And Oskaloosa takes a quick 2-0 lead in the first minute of play. Here's Marvelli out on the right wing. She gets a screen from Bestel, lobs it into the corner. This is Maher. She's going to go on the dribble, and she's going to get called for a double dribble as she pinned it against her hip on the drive. This is what you want to see, a good start. That changes everything. Oskaloosa has been out of the game by the end of the first quarter in so many contests. It would be a refreshing sense of ability as this ball fired by Kelderman. She had an open Denberger, but led her too far, and Oskaloosa turns it right back over. But just having the ability to say that you're in a game into the second quarter, I know that sounds very simplistic, but it hasn't been an easy go against a lot of the varsity teams here in Class 4A and in this little Hawkeye Conference with many ranked teams Oskaloosa's run into. Maher gets it in of Marvelli in the left corner after the turnover. Back to the top at Maher. They're trying to get Bestel posted up against Denberger down low. She does have a small size advantage. We'll see if they're able to exploit that. On the outside here is Rhodes. She's going to go all the way around the horn. A little floater miss, but Bestel underneath able to get the rebound and draw a foul. Going to have to rebound if you're going to win this game. If you're Oskaloosa, got to find position. Cannot get out hustled on the boards. As Denberger picks up her first foul, it would be a huge loss to have her in foul trouble in this game and really neutralize the only real true scoring threat that you've been able to have on a game-to-game basis this year. Bestel's first free throw rattles in. Allie came into the season averaging just 3.5 points a game, but a 42% free throw shooter. Second one after a few dribbles with the right hand on the way, and it's going to hit the back of the rim. Rebound Denberger. Oskaloosa has it with a 2-1 lead, 6:45 to go here in this first quarter. You play 4 8-minute quarters here in regulation as Mormon dropped the pass but picked it back up over to Holmberg. Gets it to Kelderman on the right wing. She goes to Denberger on the block. She wants to make a post move, spins to her right, shot blocked by Bestel, and she'll come out of there with the rebound as Mormon was battling for it, just couldn't quite come up with it against the taller Bestel. It's good defense by Allie Bestel as Denberger tried to put a couple of post moves on her, but she held her ground nicely and ended up getting the block and the rebound. Newton in the front court on the right wing. Rhodes, she's going to draw contact and go to the free throw line, and I believe that's going to be 2 on Denberger, just not moving her feet quickly enough. And immediately, Oskaloosa's best scorer is going to have to ride the pine less than a minute and a half into this game. Or I guess less than 2 minutes in this game. 6:16 left first quarter. Rhodes' first free throw is around and out. Unable to take advantage of the line to this point. Ashley Drost will come in. That's got to be frustrating for Coach White. You have a player that you could actually run an offense through and have an opportunity to try to build a lead, but just a minute and 44 seconds into the game, she's unavailable. As a missed free throw, and again, Oskaloosa out hustled on the boards. Anna Forsyth gets the rebound and puts it back up and in to give Newton their first lead at 3-2. Bad pass by Kelderman, but eventually kicked out of bounds by Forsyth. These seniors for Newton aren't going to quit. They are not going to roll over, and they are not going to surrender. They know this is an opportunity for them to break a 10-game losing streak. Drost dribbles into the front court, passes to Kelderman, who will set up the offense out by the volleyball line. Mormon tries a bounce pass, draws, she'll kick it out. Nelson goes baseline. It's now who's going to step up and try to score for Oskaloosa. Here's Holmberg. She's at the elbow, gives it to Kelderman. Kelderman's pass wide of Mormon, but she goes back to retrieve it. Bounces it in to Dross. Dross pestered, and they're going to call a jump ball. It's going to stay with Oskaloosa. Good job by Peyton Maher, dropping down and forcing the jump on the entry pass, looking for Dross. They want to get it down to that post and see what she can do. Dross does stand 5'9", but doesn't have the skill set offensively, especially shooting the ball with the touch that Denberger has. Holmberg out on the volleyball line, directing some traffic, guarded closely by Rhodes, gets it into the right wing, and it is Nelson. Nelson back to the top. It is Kelderman. She'll dribble it. She crosses over Forsyth and then lobs it over to Holmberg. Holmberg dribbles, hard power dribbles with the right hand, gets it over to Nelson, back to Holmberg. Holmberg dribbles, gives it off to the elbow. They eventually go down to Dross. Dross turns, fires. That one a little strong. Rebound pulled down by Bestel, who's really already crashed the boards for 3 rebounds and probably will waltz to double figures in rebounds by the end of this game. They're going to call a little touchy foul on Mormon as Marcelina Marvelli did get a step on Mormon going baseline. Didn't look like a whole lot from this vantage point. Unfortunately, though, it counts all the same, and the foul is Mormon's first and already the 3rd team foul on the Indians 3 minutes in. Kelderman a good job tipping that entry pass from Maher, and it will stay with Newton. It'll be out in front of the Oskaloosa bench. 4:57 left first quarter, 3-2 Newton the lead, and neither side really any obvious options to look to on the offensive front that are in the game right now. Forsyth at the top. She dribbles to her right and leaves it for Marvelli. Marvelli step back, lost Holmberg on a screen, but misses it off the heel of the rim. Another long rebound and another offensive board for Newton as they'll look for some second chance points. Coach Sharp hollers out what he wants his team to do. They set a screen, kick out Rhodes, left corner 3 on the way, left short. Nelson retrieves the rebound. She'll push it ahead. Newton is trying to run a press against Oskaloosa, but they can't set it up if Oskaloosa doesn't allow any points. Dross just kind of fires a ball up off the glass. Not necessarily the best shot you've seen. Ashley does have some solid touch when she has space to shoot it, but the little lefty hook, not really her game. She commits a foul on the rebound, and that'll be her first, and the team's 4th foul already. Newton yet to commit one. Bestel will come take a break. This could be a big opportunity for Oskaloosa with the defensive stopper out of the game. Also, Rhodes came out. Replacing those two, Addison Blom, a 5'7" senior, and also Abby Barr, a 5'5" junior, into the game for Newton. With 4:05 to go here in the first quarter, it's 3-2 Newton with a 1-point lead. Marvelli steps inside the arc, loses the dribble, and then passes to the right side. This is Forsyth. Little stutter step, gets around Holmberg. Tough little floater missed. And Nelson again is the player who goes after the rebound. She already has 3 of those in the game. Mormon running the point here for the Indians. She bounces it to the high post. Dross thought about a shot. She's got a smaller defender than Bestel now out there as Kelderman has it poked away, but right to Mormon. It is Nelson. They're trying to get Dross on the post again, and a good job by Maher just reaching her hands in there, forcing another jump ball while Nelson had it out extended in front of her without actually getting rid of the basketball. Mormon comes out. Kinsey Cook comes in. The jump ball gives it back to the Cardinals. 3.5 to go first quarter. 3-2 Newton the lead. Walking it up is Forsyth. Holmberg picks her up. She doesn't take the screen, but is able to get rid of Holmberg on the drive, then get her own offensive rebound, go back up, can't get it. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Newton. Coach J.C. White yelling at her players to try to get some level of activity on the defensive glass because they are just getting beat on the offensive boards over and over again. Maher will come out, and she will be replaced by senior Taylor Ryan, who stands 5'4". As Kelderman pokes this away, Nelson gets the steal. Nelson's going to go all the way. Tough righty layup on the run, missed. Kelderman tried the rebound, but she's fouled over the top by Blom. It was a good job by Kelderman poking that pass away on the inbound. Very reminiscent if you're familiar with NBA history. Havlicek stole the ball, tipping it to a teammate. The foul, as mentioned, was on Blom. Kelderman catches it on the elbow. She goes down low to Dross. She faces up, nowhere to go with it. Goes to Holmberg. She dribbles once, fires it hard off the glass, can't get the roll. And then there's going to be a foul on the rebound. And again, it is on Oskaloosa. And that's the second on Drost. So Denberger grabs 2 quick ones, and then Drost gets her second in quick order. We're not even 5 minutes into this game, and the 2 bigs for Oskaloosa already with 2 fouls each. It's not an ideal situation for a team trying to compete for a win here today. Here's Marvelli, gets a screen from Blom, goes over to the right side. This is Ryan, back to Marvelli. They go to the top, and Barr nearly traveled with it. Long 2 from the left side, and getting a friendly roll that time is Taylor Ryan for 2. And it goes to a 5-2 lead in favor of Newton. Nice pass from Nelson to Holmberg, and she's going to go to the free throw line to shoot a couple. That was a great look by Mary in the fast break. Trying to get an easy look for Holmberg. Couldn't finish, but drew the foul. It's the first on Abby Barr, as Newton sluggish to get back defensively after Oskaloosa broke the press. Holmberg has had some struggles at the free throw line, just 31% at the stripe this season. And off to the left. Shooting has not been a strong suit of her career thus far, but her motor has never been a problem. She goes 100 miles an hour, 100% at all times. No quit in her. And she knows she's got to be a leader this year and into next year, just a junior. Rattles home the second for her first point of the game. And it's 5-3 rather, with Newton a 2-point lead, 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Also into the game, in between those free throws, Amanda Fay came in for the first time for Oskaloosa, a freshman at 5'10", replacing Drost. We got a traveling violation on Barr. She did a pump fake and drug the back foot. Now, even with the turnover, though, Newton has an opportunity to set up the press. Can Oskaloosa break the press? Fay comes back, gets the basketball, lobs it ahead for Holmberg. Good press break by the Indians. Holmberg missed Fay immediately open. Blom did a really good job of reading it, getting the steal, but lost the ball from behind. Kelderman pokes it away. It'll stay with the Cardinals, but the Indians can at least get back defensively and set up. Holmberg, it's just a matter of being able to dribble with your eyes up, and she could have saw Fay streaking on the other side of the floor. Maybe would have had an open layup for the freshman. Unfortunately, as this one nearly stolen away by Nelson, kicked out beyond the volleyball line, and Forsyth sets up the offense. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. It is 5-3 Newton in what we expect to be a low-scoring affair throughout, as Marvelli steps into a mid-range jump shot. Missed the shot. Kelderman saves the rebound nicely to Nelson. Nelson has it poked away. She gets it back, and she is fouled from behind by Blom, who jumped on her back. And for Blom, that'll be her second and the team's third. That was excellent work by Kelderman. She didn't know who exactly it was off of on the long rebound if people had tipped the ball, as Rhodes comes back in to replace Blom, who just picked up her second. And then she saved it into a spot where a teammate could get it, as her inbound pass into the front court finds Holmberg. Good job by Lindsay to stick with it. It wasn't an easy pass to catch. Holmberg out by the center circle, passes over to Nelson, still about 35 feet away from the hoop, over to Kinsey Cook, who's in the game, the lone senior on the Indians roster. Good entry pass to Fay, but well too strong off the glass on the shot, and Forsyth clears the board for the Cardinals. 5-3, Newton. Forsyth streaking, blocked by Fay, rebound loose, and again, Forsyth outworks Oskaloosa, kicks it out to Ryan for 3, and she swishes it. You got to get offensive, you cannot allow offensive rebounds if you are Oskaloosa in this game and if you want to win. That's just something that cannot happen, as the Indians nearly throw it away on the inbound. Good save by Fay. Kelderman over to Cook. Got to move. Got to get it in the front court. Tough pass by Cook, and it is going to be saved. They say it stayed in bounds. Marvelli's going to get credit for the steal, and that is just bad luck by the Indians trying to save it. With 50.5 seconds left, Coach J.C. White calls time, a 30-second timeout, and Newton's opened up a 10-3 lead. But of the points, the Forsyth, Fay did a great job on the block, first and foremost. But Oskaloosa is sloppy in the press still. They've committed 2 turnovers in quick succession here. Unfortunately, the Fay play, she did a great job getting the block, but nobody went after the rebound. Forsyth was able to outwork the 3 Oskaloosa jerseys around her, get the rebound, kick it out to Taylor Ryan, who knocked down a 3-point shot. She's got 5 of the 10 points. Forsyth already has 4 rebounds. Just Oskaloosa being out-rebounded at every turn here. And for a team that's looking to win a game here, as Newton is actually backed into a half-court zone defense, it appears, or maybe it's a man, but an interesting decision to pull off the press after they had done a good job of getting a steal and scoring on the last time down. Either way, Oski will take it. Holmberg, bounce pass. It is a 3 in the corner from Nelson, an air ball, but Fay is able to get the rebound. Cook, mid-range two-pointer is off. And look at Oskaloosa now going on the floor. Coach J.C. White must have said something, and Kelderman got the rebound, found a way to get it to Nelson. That was excellent work by Kelderman. Her motor, you can't question either. 29.2 left. Holmberg lobs it into the top. Nelson makes a nice catch. Back to Holmberg. She splits defenders. Tough shot off glass, too strong. Pulled down by Rhodes. And Newton can hold for the last shot. 19 seconds to go here. And stepping into the mid-ranger is Rhodes. Misses it. Kelderman a rebound. And Oskaloosa now has an opportunity as we got some hand fighting on the way down the floor. And Rhodes is going to get called for a foul. So now Newton is caught up to Oskaloosa in fouls. 5 on each team. Kelderman gets the pass in to Holmberg. She's trapped in the corner, needs some help, but does find Kelderman. Kelderman's pass a wide of the mark of Nelson, but is able to get a piece of it. They lob it to Faye. 1 second on the clock, and Amanda's not going to get a chance to get a shot up, and that's how the first quarter will end. Oskaloosa started strong. Felt like they had a good pace to this, but a couple of easy hoops and some second chance points for Newton has given the Cardinals a 10-3 lead after 1 quarter of play. We'll take a short break and be back with the second after this on the No Coast Network.
For over 30 years, Pella Printing has been leading the way in the print industry with quality equipment, modern facilities, and skilled staff. The Pella approach combines old-world craftsmanship with today's cutting-edge technology to provide brilliant printed products at a value price. They take the time to understand clients' needs from design to pre-press to printing and delivery to build lasting relationships with their customers. Whether you need personalized graduation announcements, oversized posters and banners, marketing materials, or stationery, Pella Printing offers a broad assortment of quality printed products done with speed and precision. Pella Printing, where technology and craftsmanship meet.
Hawkeye Real Estate is your one-stop source for everything real estate in Mahaska County and the surrounding area. Whether commercial, residential, or acreages, we've got you covered with the area's largest pool of real estate professionals, full-time support staff, and property management services. With over $19 million in sales volume for 2016, Hawkeye continues to be Oskaloosa's leading real estate office. Discover what thousands already know. When it's time to make a move, get the Hawkeye Edge.
Oskaloosa trailing 10-3 quickly into the second quarter. Amanda Faye gets a nice look underneath, but off to the left on the shot. The rebound secured, and with 3 players around her, Allie Bestel decides she's going to bring it up herself. That was a good active play by Allie Bestel, who played really strong for the first 4 minutes of that first quarter before taking a seat on the bench, and now is fresh again to start the second quarter. As mentioned, it's 10-3. Newton the lead here, 7.5 to go in the first half. On the outside, Maher is back in over to Marvelli. Marvelli around the horn, picked up by a couple of Oskaloosa players. Forsythe the pump fake, runs out of room. Faye, nicely done. Oskaloosa's defense looking strong this possession. Maher thought about the long shot. Instead, it goes to Rhodes. Rhodes pinched to the sideline. Faye blocks the shot, and it was a jump ball, they called, as Mormon reached in there with Bestel. Faye, her second block. You see the freshman defensively already has a lot of impressive skills at her disposal as the inbound comes to Forsythe. Her shot missed. Faye, a strong rebound this time. And Oskill bring it the other way with Holmberg. The Indians need to find an offensive threat. After the first minute and 44 seconds, Marley Denberger had to come out with 2 fouls as Holmberg misses the shot, but Kelderman the offensive rebound. Her pass to the top to Megan Mormon, who starts the second quarter as well. Mormon being pestered, trying to get rid of the ball, has it knocked out of her hand, but Kelderman is in a good position, has it poked away, it goes out of bounds, and it'll stay with Oskaloosa. No, the official's going to overrule and say Kelderman just lost it out of her hand, and it will go as a turnover for the Indians. That's just their 4th. So the turnovers haven't been that big of a problem, but Newton has not kept the press on. It's just been kind of intermittent, and intermittently they have put the press on to try to generate some turnovers. That one in the half court, though. Oskaloosa has also generated 3 turnovers of their own. So that's not been the big factor. It's just Oskaloosa allowing second chance points and unable to really find anybody who can get an open look. As Forsythe, that was a tough pass made by Maher. And again, Forsythe outworks Oskaloosa, kicks it out, Maher again. The ball off the side of the rim, though, and fires itself out of bounds, and it'll go to Oskaloosa. I don't have the ability to keep track of just offensive and defensive rebounds, but there's been a lot of offensive rebounds, and I think Anna Forsythe, of the 5 rebounds she has, 4 of them have been on the offensive glass. Faye gets The inbound pass goes to Mormon. Mormon lobs it ahead. It's poked away, but Holmberg gets it. She'll step into a mid-range jump shot. Again, that's not really her game, and it's nothing but air on the backside. It's Maher the rebound. She'll push it ahead for the Cardinals. Oskaloosa one and done. They're not getting a lot of offensive opportunities as Forsyth just goes right by. Faye just kind of olayed and got out of the way, and Mormon was forced to foul her over the back. And that'll send Forsyth to the line, and she's been incredibly active here in this first half. She only has 2 points, but this is a girl that on the season has averaged 2.5 points per game, doesn't shoot the ball extremely well. She does make the first here. She's only a 44% free throw shooter and has not gotten there very much at all this season. Mormon comes out, replaced by Cook, and Kaylee Johnson, who played a lot of that second half of the JV game, enters 2 for 2 for Forsyth. She replaced Mormon, who just got her second foul. Faye gets the inbound, lobs it ahead, looking for Kinsey Cook, but the long arms of Rhodes knock it away. Cook does a good job of hustling and making sure it stays with Oskaloosa, however. 12-3, Oski trailing. Johnson tried a shot, missed everything. Maher the rebound. Ball may have been deflected on a shot by Forsyth, and then underneath on a nice pass from Rhodes, Bestel lays it in for 2. So now Newton has a double-digit advantage, 14-3, as Cook dribbles it into the front court, working on Rhodes, who's all over her, and she's going to get called for a traveling violation as the plant foot slipped. 5th turnover for Oskaloosa. Barr back in to replace Marvelli, who played the entire first quarter and has played the entire game to this point. But Newton is finding offensive options, whereas Oskaloosa with Denberger on the bench just cannot find anybody they can rely on to get a shot up and make it an accurate shot. And that's one thing that's going to be a challenge for Coach White to develop. As Barr goes baseline, left it way short. Johnson the rebound, and they throw it away. And those turnovers as well. Johnson specifically this season has been plagued by turnovers. Either way, I'm sure this is frustrating for Coach White, but she can't throw Marley Denberger out there with 2 fouls. She's only played in less than 2 minutes. It's Barr underneath. Cook's going to get called for a foul, trying to recover defensively. But the ball movement for Newton is finding ways to get the ball inside, within 15 feet. And Oskaloosa just finding themselves out of position after Faye. She's just a freshman, obviously, and she was just recently in the last few weeks pulled up to the varsity level as Barr's first free throw is a swish. As Blom comes in for Bestel, working that same kind of rotation they did in the first quarter. Jillian Jennings, who plays almost every second of those JV games, most of those games, not every second, as Barr's second is short. Rebound pulled down. Mary Nelson again, she'll bring it up. Into the corner, Cook. It's just too high on the pass, looking for Jennings underneath, and it's taken by Blom on the steal. Into the corner. Here's Rhodes, kick out to Maher. But you'll see Newton on this possession, they find ways to get the ball inside the three-point arc with multiple players, and they're all moving and trying to take advantage. There's going to be a charging foul on Barr as she ran over Kelderman, who clearly had position. It's a good job by Emma knowing what to do in that situation. Her basketball IQ is going up exponentially as this season wears on. She bounces it in to Johnson. Johnson has it poked away from behind, but she is fouled, and I believe they're going to get Forsyth from the behind. Forsyth will get called for the foul, and that's now the 7th team foul on Newton. Have yet to put it on the scoreboard, but with 4:32 left, second quarter, it's 15-3. Oskaloosa scored 3 early points, but have not been able to generate anything since. Kaylee Johnson's front end of the 1-and-1, nothing but net. She's got a smooth stroke. You can see why she was brought up so quickly to the varsity level. Hopefully she'll continue to develop, averaging just 2 points a game, just 30% from the free throw line in her limited attempts. Turnovers have been her biggest bugaboo as she swishes both free throws. But just a freshman, you know, with this playing time and the experience she's able to get, it's something that's going to be nothing but beneficial to her moving forward as Cook comes out, replaced by Holmberg for Oskaloosa. 4:20 left. Here's Forsyth inside against the Oski zone as they collapse on her. Good active hands by Kelderman. They swing it around the bar on the left wing over to Blom. Blom thought about the shot, goes baseline on Jennings. Swings it outside, 3-ball, left short. Volleyball and bounce and pinballs around, and eventually Barr comes out of there with it as Maher left the shot short. And then Rhodes again on the pump fake. Drug the back foot. Will get called for a traveling violation. 5 turnovers for Newton as this lead pass finds Holmberg. Good find for Johnson, but again, as she tries to stop on the dribble, lost the handle of the ball, and jump ball is going to be called on the scramble underneath. And the possession arrow keeps it with the Indians. Barr and Rhodes come out. It'll be Taylor Ryan and Marcelina Marvelli back in for the Cardinals. Halfway through the second quarter, 15-5, Newton by 10. Kelderman out in the left wing, goes down low. Jennings immediately goes for a shot underneath. Can't get it to fall with Blom getting the rebound. I like Jennings' game. I like that she knows what she wants to do with the basketball as soon as she gets it. She knows that she's in there to be an offensive option for Oskaloosa at this point. It's just a matter of trying to master those skills underneath and maybe being a little bit more patient instead of just firing up a shot at the first sign of space. On the right wing here is Forsyth into the corner now. It is Blom. She'll pass it to the top, and Ryan, who's already got 5 points off the bench. Marvelli from about 23 left that one short, predictably, as the rebound pulled down by Kelderman. That's already 5 boards in the game for Emma, who's really worked hard on the boards in this game. Here's Jennings. She goes up and under and lays it in. That time she had good positioning. It was a good look from Johnson underneath for the assist, and Jillian's got her first 2 of the game. 15-7, Oskaloosa trying to trim up what was an 11-point lead at one point, make it 12-point lead, my mistake. The defense has to continue to get stops, though, because Oskaloosa knows offensively they are challenged to score points. Denberger is at the scorers table. We'll check back in. The next dead ball is there's going to be a traveling violation on Blom as she tried to split the interior defense. Jennings will come out. Denberger comes in, and Coach Sharp wants to take a 30-second timeout. We'll take a quick break with them. 2:43 left first half, 15-7 Newton on the No Coast Network.
The student community at William Penn made an impression on me. It's a real statement that you can come here and be part of something real.
You have the opportunity to participate in activities.
The coaches are awesome. It's easy to play for coaches that care about you.
The real experiences at Penn have helped shape who I'm going to be when I graduate. I work harder because I want to be part of the conversation in class.
I am a leader.
I am a trailblazer.
I'm proud to be a statesman.
Oskaloosa comes out after the Newton timeout. And a little bit of a full court press being shown by Newton. Kelderman able to bring it across on Forsyth by herself, but lost the dribble. Those are the things that Emma's going to have to continue to work on over the offseason as she just lost it. Forsyth got the steal and quickly ahead to Blom, who lays it in for 2. Denberger checks back in, makes a bad pass. Maher got a hand on it, knocked out of bounds. It'll go to Newton. Another turnover, Oskaloosa. The passing just isn't there. And Coach White is drawing up these press breaks. The girls are going into the right spot, but it takes an accurate pass to make the play happen. And unfortunately for the Indians, just inconsistent passing has been a real, I mean, it's hard to say any other way than bugaboo. As here's just a setup shot for Taylor Ryan, and she is proving to be a 3-point threat in the game. She just an 18.5% 3-point shooter on the season, and they're going to call a 5-second violation. That looked like it was a little quick as Kinsey Cook tried to get it inbounds as Newton ratcheted up the pressure again. Coach J.C. White wants to talk to her team. A full timeout. Newton ball. They'll lead it. They have their largest lead of the game right now at 20-7 with just under 2 minutes to play in the first half. We'll take a short break and be back with more after this on the No Coast Network.
Lighton State Bank understands that everyone's financial needs and goals are different. That's why it's essential for you to bank with a local bank that knows you personally and professionally. Lighton State Bank is that bank. They understand your financial situation and work diligently to help you reach your financial goals. They're committed to working with you and for you every step of the way. Lighton State Bank, serving you from Lighton, Pella, and Monroe. Grow strong with us, member FDIC.
Providing high-quality professional eye care with a truly caring staff is what Oskaloosa Vision Center has been doing for more than 30 years. With our state-of-the-art equipment, we can provide comprehensive eye exams, prescription glasses, and contact lenses, as well as medical care like eye infection and disease treatment, emergency eye care, and pre- and post-operative aid. Newborn to adult, we have the experience to meet all your eye care needs. Oskaloosa Vision Center. Come see us today.
Inbound pass comes into Marcelino Marvelli. Newton with the basketball out of the timeout. 2 minutes to go. A tough running hook shot by Ali Bestel. And again, there's going to be a foul, not a jump ball. I thought they were going to call a jump ball, but they're going to get Peyton Maher for a foul. That's going to be the eighth team foul on Newton. They adjusted the team foul situation. It's a second on Maher. And Mary Nelson, who was one of Oskaloosa's better shooters from three-point land, and 68% from the foul line. That's second best on the team by anybody that's shot 10 or more free throws. And Mary will go to the line, looking to try to help chip away at what is a 20-7 Newton lead. Front end of the 1-and-1, buried. Mary's first point of the game. Remember, Oskaloosa felt confident they could come in here and compete with a Newton team that's really struggled to score the ball without their leading scorer, and only 3 wins on the year, as Bestel rebounds the missed free throw by Nelson. Now it's just a matter of sticking with it and trying to chip away, keep this within a reasonable deficit as you get further and further into the game. It is 20-8 now, a 12-point lead for the Cardinals. They have the ball with 1:35 left. Here's another three from the right wing, no good. Again on the board, Bestel, but Denberger gets it on the miss as Bestel couldn't finish the putback. Cook pushes it ahead, gets it ahead into the arms of the junior Holmberg. Back to Cook, cross-court pass, a good one by Cook, finds an open Nelson, three-point shot on the way, just off the mark. Rebound Marvelli. Everything was good there, the shot just didn't fall. Nobody shoots 100% from outside the arc. Can't fault Mary there. It was a good play and a good find by Cook. The three is an air ball here from Marvelli, and again, Nelson comes out of there with yet another rebound. Johnson keeps her head up, finds Holmberg. She fires too strong, though, off glass. Marvelli comes out of there with another rebound. It's being able to develop a touch by next year for Holmberg, because she, with her speed and her ability to work hard to get herself inside the arc, and inside the free throw line, you know, if she develops some level of touch with the shot in the offseason, she very well could find a way to be a legitimate scoring threat for the Indians. And it looks like Newton is just perfectly fine with running out the clock and shooting one shot to finish this first half. They lead it 20-8. 25 seconds now as Forsyth will run it down with 23 seconds left. Coach Sharp is going to call a timeout, and it will be, I believe, a 30-second timeout. So the 30-second timeout by Brandon Sharp and the Newton Cardinals. They are looking to try to snap a 10-game losing streak. It has been a situation in which Oskaloosa this season has really struggled, but Newton in recent weeks, without Randy Walters on the floor due to ineligibility, I mean, it has been a problem for Newton to score the ball, and they have not won a game in their last 10. Oskaloosa felt like they could compete in this game, and it's still pretty competitive. Oskaloosa just, Denver got in early foul trouble, and that has been a huge factor, as Oskaloosa's only managed 8 points here so far in the first half. And with Forsyth now, we'll see how Newton wants to attack this. Forsyth finds a lane, goes all the way to the rim, and lays it in. That is a huge bucket for Newton, makes it 22-8. 10 seconds left. Kelderman gets past Rhodes, lobs it ahead for Denberger. Oski's got to go here. You can't sit around and wait for your shot to give it to you. Denberger notices that, fires up a shot, but can't make it, and that'll do it as Forsyth cleared the rebound. 6.6 rebounds for Forsyth in the first half. Oskaloosa has nobody with more than 2 points. Mary Nelson does lead the way with 6 rebounds. Emma Kelderman has 5. But overall, Newton outworked Oskaloosa on the boards and found ways to generate offense, whereas Oskaloosa with Denberger on the bench could do no such thing. And at the half, it is 22-8 in favor of the Cardinals. We'll take a break, come back with a halftime show right after this. It's Oskaloosa trailing by 14 on the No Coast Network.
Look at that mouth. That poor, parched mouth. What'd you eat for lunch? Chalk dust? Did your face storm a sandcastle? You're being awfully quiet. Is that because your mouth feels like the business end of a Dremel saw? Is it because your mouth just wrote a haiku and all 17 syllables were dry heaves? Right now, your mouth could be tongue bathing in the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Instead, it feels like you've been motorboating King Tut's sarcophagus. Show some mercy. Crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew. Ah. You know your mouth wants you to. Do the Dew.
Whatever they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
If you are looking for brand names close to home, then look no further than Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Penn Central Mall has a wide variety of stores for people of all ages. Find the perfect pair of silver or Vigas jeans at Maurice's. Get a pair of Oakley sunglasses from the smiling staff at Eye Care Partners. Cozy up with Ashley Furniture from Gilworth Furniture. And find that dazzling diamond from Gardner Collier Jewelry. When you're done, grab a bite to eat at Mir and Cheeto or the Pizza Ranch. It's all at Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Shop, walk, and enjoy Penn Central Mall.
At Clow Valve Company, being the premier place to work is part of our core vision, and this includes helping our local community be a premier place to live. Clow cares and is committed to creating a happier and healthier community. By volunteering in local events and fundraisers. By donating to nonprofit organizations. By leaving a better tomorrow than today. Clow is more.
We are Clow Valve.
Swim Sports is once again open in Oskaloosa. This is Doug DeCock, the new owner of Swims. Along with Doug Swim, we are happy to be open again. Swims has a wide variety of trophies, plaques, and engraving available to Oskaloosa and the surrounding areas. We have an assortment of uniforms, socks, and belts, along with other sporting goods at the store. Swim Sports also provides a full screen printing facility for your screen printing needs. Come check out the new store at 118 A Avenue East in Oskaloosa. The two Dougs would love to see you at Swim Sports.
If you think there's room for improvement in your investment game plan, or that maybe you should send in some new plays, take a time out and talk to an experienced investment professional. I'm Bob Auld of Robert Auld Investments, an investment advisor with over 31 years of experience in Oskaloosa and Southern Iowa. Let me help you find some new strategies. Call 673-9448 or 1-800-444-AULD.
Robert Auld is a registered representative offering securities and investment advisory services through SagePoint Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC.
It's halftime. The student section is taking a break. We saw some beach balls being bounced around. It is beach night here. That's the theme for the Oskaloosa student section this evening, and they're going to have a fun time as they always do, and getting everybody hyped and getting this gym rocking, especially when the top-ranked Oskaloosa boys team at 15-1 this season come out on the floor later on tonight. At halftime of the girls' game, though, it is Newton 22, Oskaloosa 8. The real storyline was when Marley Denberger, with 6:16 left in the first quarter, picked up her second foul and had to sit on the bench for well over 12 minutes of game time. Really didn't factor in the first half at all. We talked about Oskaloosa trying to find a way to get their first win against this Newton team that's without their leading scorer in Randy Walters and doesn't score very much without her, about 25 points a game, around the same as Oskaloosa. If you're the Indians, you didn't have any choice but to rest Marley that entire first half. You didn't want her to get in any deeper foul trouble and not need her and not be able to use her later in the game. Unfortunately, Newton found ways to generate offense in the half court. Anna Forsyth had 6 points. Taylor Ryan off the bench hit 2 threes, which is a little out of character for her. She's only an 18% three-point shooter. Marvelli is the only player that's significantly a three-point threat on a game-to-game basis. But at this point, Taylor Ryan has scored 8 points to lead all scorers in the game, and an unbelievable couple of threes that in a game like this where the scoring is going to be very sparse for both sides, and you're not going to be able to find a way with the scarcity that shooting is going to give you to score points. A couple of threes goes a really long way and getting yourself positioned for a victory, and that's why it's a 22-8 lead. As Oskaloosa on the other side, they just could not find anybody to generate any points. They eventually had 10 turnovers in the first half. Now also, Newton had 6, so it's not completely one-sided as it typically is in an Oskaloosa game when they're facing a full court press for the entirety of the game. But still, those 10 turnovers allowed a couple of easy looks for Newton in the fast break, and they executed the layups to perfection. Oskaloosa only had a couple of opportunities at a play like that and were unable to finish at every given moment. Of Oskaloosa's 8 points, 4 of them have come at the free throw line. The only buckets were Marley Denberger in the first minute of the game, the first 2 points of the game, and then Jillian Jennings on a little turnaround underneath that she got great position and was able to finish off glass. And she knew when she came into the game, I got to start shooting the ball because nobody else can get open looks. But if you're Oskaloosa, Mary Nelson missed a couple of open shots. Hopefully, if she gets another opportunity to make a couple of those, she'll be able to do that. But as it stands right now, Oskaloosa looking for someone to step up, score offensively, but they're also going to need to stop Newton from scoring as the Cardinals have a 22-8 lead. 14 points is something that Oskaloosa can make up in a half of basketball, but you have to keep Newton within reasonable distance. You want to get this to about a 6-point lead by the end of the third quarter if you're realistically going to come back and try to win this game. We'll take another break, come back with a second half worth of basketball. When we return right after this, it's Oski trailing 22-8 to Newton in girls basketball on the No Coast Network.
At Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, we're proud to keep the Oskaloosa Indians and their fans safe and feeling good on and off the field. Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy is the expert in injury care, orthopedics, and sports rehab, with a new facility in Oskaloosa, complete with an open gym area in addition to several private treatment rooms. If pain is bugging you, come see the experts at Kinetic Edge for a free injury screen. Find out more, including why the Oskaloosa Indians trust Kinetic Edge, at kineticedgept.com.
Dreams start early, illustrated straight from the heart. Big or small, dreams take hard work to grow into reality. To bring your dreams to life, sometimes you need a little help. So surround yourself with people who believe in your dreams and count on Bank Iowa to help you reach them. Bank Iowa, for the dreamer in all of us.
At Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, getting your prescription filled is easy. The large covered drive-thru and easy access to the front door is convenient, and the friendly staff is always ready to help you. With a variety of goods and home decor, Mahaska Drug is sure to have the perfect gift for any occasion. Have your favorite photos developed and framed at Mahaska Drug's framing counter, and cherish your memories for years to come. It's all at Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, where they have been committed to a healthy community for over 20 years. Call 673-3439 or stop in today.
Main Street Oskaloosa is dedicated to giving our community the downtown they want and deserve. We bring vibrant community events like Art on the Square, Christmas in July, and the lighted Christmas parade to downtown Oskaloosa. We believe in the unique value of our district and work to support business here. Our city's history is important, and it drives our efforts in the revitalization and preservation of downtown. In 2017, we received the Signature Project Award for our inspiring and innovative placemaking efforts. Our goal is a downtown Oskaloosa can be proud of. For more information, contact Emily Brown at 641-672-2591.
We love to help people with their smiles. Petrito Orthodontics of Ottumwa and Oskaloosa is all about creating beautiful smiles and increased self-esteem that lasts a lifetime. We specialize in creating individualized smiles by committing to make each visit a memorable experience. Our office is equipped with state-of-the-art technology to ensure optimum results. For help with your smile, call Petrito Orthodontics.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
Welcome back up here in the Crow's Nest, Emery Songer, and for the rest of the evening, I'm going to be joined by John Henry, the William Penn men's basketball coach, now unanimously #1. Coach, thanks so much for subbing in for us here on a Tuesday night.
No problem. I'll do my best.
All right, that's Coach Henry, and we're about to start second half with the basketball, so let's go back down to the floor and get set for action as the Oskaloosa girls currently sitting, of course, with a 22-8 deficit, and we'll see how the girls are able to respond here as Coach. When Denberger went out of the game, it just looked like they couldn't get anything going on the offensive end of the floor.
Yeah, it was a pretty frustrating first half, I think, for our girls only having 8 points, but we'll see what happens here in a second.
So 8 minutes on the clock. We get set to go for our second half of basketball. It is Newton wearing their charcoal gray uniforms trimmed in red and white, shooting at our right hoop. And it is their 5 starters out there with Marvelli, Rhodes, Forsyth, Bestel, and Maher. Marley Denberger got a piece of that entry pass, but rolling around on the floor with the ball was Bestel, and she is going to be committing the turnover back to Oskaloosa.
Not a bad job there, a 2-3 zone start the second half. I like to see that with these girls.
And we'll see how much Denberger can play. She only played about 4 minutes of that first half. She is going to bring the ball up the floor, running some point here to get Oskaloosa into their offense. As she stutter steps, goes back outside. Kelderman gets her down on the post. She turns, but traveled before she got the shot up.
I like to see her being aggressive, though. She needs to look to score.
Well, you saw what happened with Oskaloosa. They only had one made basket in the time that she was off the floor, and that was Jillian Jennings with a little lay-in underneath on the post. Everything else was at the free throw line for the Indians. Newton was able to generate some offense, even without Randy Walters available to them here tonight. Here's Marvelli, top of the key, over to Rhodes. Rhodes goes down to Bestel. Gets a little bump from Denberger, no whistle, but Maher again on the rebound. Kick out, Marvelli lines up a three. That's a miss, and then Maher's going to get called for a foul, pushing the back of Kelderman on the rebound. That's her third.
Great box out there by Kelderman. I like the way she does that. I saw her do that in the first half a couple of times too.
For a player that didn't play basketball for a couple of years, she does have good instincts, and she's not afraid to get physical.
Well, and just being a little bit older, maybe a little more leadership there. And
Hosky into the front court. Here's Denberger, blocked by Bestel. A lot of contact, no foul called. Maher comes out of there with the rebound nonetheless. And Newton will set up in the front court. Oski's defense has to continue to get stops, but eventually the offense is going to have to score some points as Rhodes from the baseline off to the left on the shot. Again, an offensive rebound by Bestel, and then Rhodes on the loose ball, unable to keep it in bounds. It goes back to Oskaloosa, but the Indians are just getting beat on the offensive glass over and over again.
Well, the Newton's overall size, not necessarily height, but just the bigger bodies is really making its presence known.
Something you don't typically have to worry about too frequently.
No, we've got some size, a little bit of athletes too, but these Newton girls, pretty decent athletes.
Yeah, they got that 6-foot Bestel underneath that's definitely wreaking havoc on the glasses. Here's Denberger working on her, and she poked it away. Did Bestel. Quick hands, and the steal, the 12th turnover for the Indians as Maher crossover gets herself some space but misses a shot. Nelson able to corral the rebound, her 7th of the game, and she does not have numbers. It was a 2-on-3, and she'll settle it back down with Megan Mormon at the top. Here's a free throw line jumper for Denberger. That's money all day for Marley.
That's her shot right there, about 14, 15 feet straight on. If somebody backs off her, it's usually good. But teams have scouted them. They play up on her and don't give her that shot.
The ball tipped by Kelderman on the pass, but it stays with Newton as Bestel is able to track it down. Here's Forsyth. Again, Kelderman got a piece of it, but Forsyth able to get it back. Marvelli eventually has it after a swing pass to the left wing. Back to Forsyth. She goes to Rhodes. She goes to Marvelli into the left corner. Back to the top in Maher. Newton isn't afraid to move the basketball, and they have been pretty clean with it for the most part, outside of a couple of travel calls.
Clean and patient.
And Bestel off the mark, not really the shot I'm sure they were looking for. And the 8th board already for Nelson, but a bad pass throws it right to Marvelli in the front court. Kind of like the Newton boys team. Kind of wait for their own shot, especially in years past when they've had multiple shooters on the floor.
Methodical and move the ball until they get the exact shot they want. That's what the boys do, and it looks like the girls are doing a little bit of that as well.
Bestel, nice power dribble to the right and little hook shot, and she's able to get her 2nd bucket of the game.
She gets that ball down that low, it's pretty much over.
Especially with the height advantage she has on Denberger or whoever's guarding her underneath. Just under 5 minutes to play as Denberger got past Bestel, but she comes from behind and commits the foul. It's 24-10. Oskaloosa trailing by 14, but Marley's going to go to the free throw line, and that's where she's going to shoot 2 shots on the season. Marley, a 70% shooter.
I like her being aggressive. All year long, I've wanted her to just put your head down, and that one was a good left-hand drive.
Her shooting ability, as she makes the first free throw, is something that a lot of these Oskaloosa girls just don't quite have the touch, so when she's in the game, it gives them a legitimate option. Hey, Marley, you're our number 1 scoring option. When she's out of the game, it's a mystery who's going to step up, as Jennings came in to replace Mormon. A little bit bigger lineup as Denberger makes both. Makes it 24-12. Oskaloosa's defense really has to step it up here, though. They know offensively it's a struggle to score points. They can't allow Newton to really get any further out in front of them. To the left wing, it is Marvelli, about 25 feet away from the hoop. She goes with a skip pass to Forsyth, who's been very active. She's underneath, but kind of had to do a jump stop as she lost the handle with the ball. Gets called for a traveling violation, the 8th Newton turnover. They show some full court pressure now, man-to-man style, and Holmberg gets it into Denberger. Denberger wants to dribble it up herself, and there's going to be a touch foul, the 4th on Peyton Maher, and she's probably going to have to ride the pine for a while.
That's a big deal in our favor right there. Maher is a very physical player, and if she has to sit down for a long period of time now with 4 fouls, not a very smart play right there. You're a long ways away from the basket to be out on an island fouling there.
24-12. Oskaloosa still facing man-to-man pressure. Kind of a lazy attempt by Kelderman to go get the basketball. And Forsyth, we talked about. Well, that wasn't Forsyth. That was actually Rhodes. That was Forsyth. My mistake. Either way, Forsyth has been active, Newton has been active, and it's a 30-second timeout for Oskaloosa coach J.C. White. J.C. understood that this was going to be a project to try to get this team back and competitive. What do you think is going on in her head in these huddles, trying to get these girls to try to execute these plays?
I'll tell you what, having watched every single game this year, I just like the enthusiasm that she's brought, her staff has brought. I don't know of another team in the country, what are they, 0-14?
0-16.
0-16, that from the start of a game to the end of the game has a good attitude and plays as hard as they can. We're just not that skilled. Now, but they never give up, and you never see any moping or pouting or bad attitude, and I think that's a great step in building this thing.
They get it to Kelderman to the inbound. Oskaloosa trailing 24-12 with the basketball. That wasn't a bad idea, but Marvelli, never saw Marvelli there, and she's able to poke it away for the steal. Turnovers, if turnovers get cleaned up and you get a little bit more high-quality shots in the offensive end, who knows? They could be in a lot of games. There's a nice steal by Holmberg. She's going to go all the way down the floor, pick up the dribble, tough finish in traffic.
Great play there by Lindsey Holmberg. Left-hand dribble about 30 feet into a layup in traffic.
And that's been a problem for her, left-handed dribbling throughout her career. She doesn't like to dribble with the left hand. Did a good job there, though, as the ball loose again, but she's going to be fouled as Forsyth tripped her up as she went for the steal.
And that was vintage Holmberg right there. I've never met a girl with more bruises because she's on the floor more than the floor is.
Well, I can tell you this. Her motor, since she got called up to the varsity level as a freshman, has never been a question, as that was I believe they called a foul on Forsyth. It didn't go up on the board as Oskaloosa a press break. Jennings with a lay-in after a good pass from Kelderman.
There we go. Nice 2-on-1 fast break, finished by Jillian.
I like her game, and Oskaloosa's cut it to 8, 24-16. I said at halftime, if you cut it to about 6 by the fourth quarter, you know you're within range. Here's Barr. She double dribble.
Hey, I can't remember the last time I heard the crowd this loud. This is great.
And Coach Sharp wants to chat about it on the Newton sideline. We'll take a quick break and be back with more. 3:33 left, third quarter. Oskaloosa trimming into the deficit, trail it 24-16 on the No Coast Network.
Hawkeye Real Estate is your one-stop source for everything real estate in Mahaska County and the surrounding area. Whether commercial, residential, or acreages, we've got you covered with the area's largest pool of real estate professionals, full-time support staff, and property management services. With over $19 million in sales volume for 2016, Hawkeye continues to be Oskaloosa's leading real estate office. Discover what thousands already know. When it's time to make a move, get the Hawkeye Edge.
Got a little bit of action here in Oskaloosa's favor as Newton had gotten themselves a 14-point lead. Oskaloosa's nearly cut that in half. They're down by 8, 24-16. Still 3.5 to go in third quarter. Emery Songer, John Henry up here in the crow's nest. And Coach, this is maybe you talked about the sound in this gym. People are starting to get into this game.
A little bit of enthusiasm here. I like it. We forced another team to call a timeout. Take your minor wins as you can, and let's build on those.
Inbound pass, full court pressure again being shown. Holmberg finds Kelderman, and she'll bring it up on Forsyth, who's been very handsy in this game. Got to watch where she is at all times. Denberger wants to get it to Jennings underneath. Jennings bumped before the shot. She did make the shot, but she was fouled on the floor, and we'll see who the foul is on. Underneath, it's going to be on Blom. That's 3 on her. Maher's got 4. Blom 3. Bestel, though, who's on the bench, just has 1.
I like how physical Jennings is being.
Well, unfortunately, on the inbound pass, Holmberg's pass stolen by Marvelli, who's got 3 steals in the quarter. She's left all alone. She's their best three-point shooter and rings in that one. And then going the other way, Nelson. Oskaloosa wants to push quickly here, and then Forsyth right on cue, able to get that handsiness to a steal. Marvelli, she's thought about a heat check there. Forsyth, about a 10-footer, left it short, rebound loose, and Jennings out-battles the Cardinals for it. Gets it ahead quickly. Nelson goes all the way, lays it in. Oskaloosa, this is as much offensive action as we have seen, but again, it's going to start on the defensive end if they want to try to win this game. They already scored 10 points in the quarter with 2.5 to go here in the third, down by 9.
I think it's me, Emery.
Well, Coach, where have you been all year? I was going to say there's got to be a foul on Kelderman as on the drive and holding an ankle.
Yeah, she turned her ankle pretty good.
No, they're going to call a traveling violation. They have just lifted the foul call. She certainly was bumped in the leg, and that's a tough break. The assistant coach for Newton not happy, but I believe that's Abby Barr who went on the drive, and she is down and she is in some actual pain.
I saw the ankle turn all the way over. That wasn't pretty.
Well, that's something that happens with frequency in basketball, whether it's a low ankle sprain or a high ankle sprain. It's one of the most painful injuries you can deal with on the floor, and obviously it's not something that you ever plan to happen, and it's hard with as many feet are around you, but they're on the drive. That's a tough break for Newton and a good break for Kelderman and Oskaloosa, as they have yet to commit a team foul here, knock on wood.
I was watching her injury when she went down. Did they actually change the travel to a foul? Or a foul to a travel?
It was initially ruled a foul by an official on the baseline, and then the official up top said, no, that's going to be a traveling violation, and they ruled it a travel. And as far as I understand, even though why they're talking about it, I believe it's been ruled Oskaloosa ball. Good to see Barr get helped up, and she is helped over to the bench. Replacing her is Taylor Ryan, who only made 2 threes in the first half. An 18% three-point shooter on the season.
With 2:24 to go here in the third, we can get a bucket here and get this down to 7. We're in good shape.
Here's Nelson, and she throws it right to Forsythe, who couldn't handle the pass, and it'll go out of bounds.
You got lucky there.
Got to take care of the basketball, passing it and dribbling it. Here's Holmberg. She slices through the D. That's a tough shot. She just fires off the glass. An easy rebound for Bestel, and that's the kind of touch we were talking about with Marley.
Well, I think it kind of slipped out of Lindsay's hand as she was making her move.
Very possible, as here's a little mid-ranger for Ryan. Jennings comes up with the board on the miss. And here's Kelderman. She wants to run the break. She's got a little 3-on-3 action. Holmberg left open and hits the mid-range jump shot.
Nice shot, Lindsay.
And now we're within 7 here. 1:50 to go third quarter, 27-20. Nobody picks up the ball, though. Forsythe gets into the middle. Oskaloosa forces a jump ball. It'll be Oskaloosa ball on the possession arrow.
Lindsay Holmberg making plays.
The motor is there.
Force the turnover. I love it.
And Newton has completely backed out of the pressure. Oskaloosa got a couple of quick hoops, but it's kind of curious. They have forced a lot of turnovers with that press.
I really liked them letting her bring this ball down like this.
Yeah, Denberger getting her hands on the ball early. That's a risky pass by Holmberg underneath, and it'll be another jump ball as Jennings had a fight with 4 different charcoal jerseys. It was Marvelli who ends up forcing the jump, and it goes back to Newton. I get the idea of trying to get it to Jillian in there, but I really like having Marley kind of roaming, not just posting up, because she's also one of your best dribblers as well.
Well, and without a shot clock, move it 2 or 3 more times before you get it into Jennings.
Here is Ryan. She goes to Bestel. Bestel, instead of finding Rhodes, goes to Forsythe. Forsythe, look at that Euro step, but too many steps. 13 turnovers now as they're starting to catch up. Newton is in terms of turnovers. It's 27-20.
I mentioned to you earlier how I really respect how these girls, they come every night. That feeling the enthusiasm in the gym right now is really giving me, quite honestly, goosebumps for these girls. Let's get a bucket here and cut it to 5. Oh.
Lindsay, we see it about 100 times a night on both levels, is just on that pump fake. The back foot drags a little bit before the ball hits the deck, and it's a traveling violation every time. We also talked off the air, just the fact that these girls are sticking with it. They have, they know they're going through some growing pains right now, but Coach J.C. White's got them pumped to play basketball. They like playing basketball, and they're going to try to – I like the 5 that's out here right now. There's a lot of skill out there and a lot of youth out there as well. As Forsythe goes over to Marvelli, Newton, I like this move by Coach Sharp. Just let's run some clock here.
I'm kind of surprised he's going to hold it for an entire minute 10, though. But, hey.
He did hold it for a minute to end the first half. As Newton, Oskaloosa's crowd trying to make some noise, get the Indian girls to try to up the pressure a little bit and get a 5-second count on one of these players. So as Newton just wasting some time, they know that Oskaloosa's got the momentum, and they don't want to relinquish any more of their lead. They led by as many as 14. That's been cut in half to 7. Over to the top of the key, it's Ryan who lobs it over to Forsythe, now 15 on the clock. Kelderman all over Forsythe now, but now they call the play with 10 seconds left. Forsythe gets past Kelderman, goes to the corner. Ryan, another 3-point attempt. This one short. Kelderman comes out of there with the rebound. 2 seconds. Gives it to Jennings at the buzzer. Can't get it to go, but Oskaloosa, a solid third quarter, and they'll go into the fourth in striking distance, trailing Newton 27-20. We'll take a short break and be back with the fourth after this on the No Coast Network.
The student community at William Penn made an impression on me.
It's a real statement that you can come here and be part of something real. You have the opportunity to participate in activities.
The coaches are awesome. It's easy to play.
Now it's just the last 6 minutes.
The student community at William Penn made an impression on me. It's a real statement that you can come here and be part of something real. You have the opportunity to participate in activities.
The coaches are awesome. It's easy to play for coaches that care about you.
The real experiences at Penn have helped shape who I'm going to be when I graduate. I work harder because I want to be part of the conversation in class. I am a leader. I am a trailblazer. I'm proud to be a statesman.
Lighton State Bank understands that everyone's financial needs and goals are different. That's why it's essential for you to bank with a local bank that knows you personally and professionally. Lighton State Bank is that bank. They understand your financial situation and work diligently to help you reach your financial goals. They're committed to working with you and for you every step of the way. Lighton State Bank, serving you from Lighton, Pella, and Monroe. Grow strong with us, member FDIC.
Oskaloosa to start it with the fourth quarter beginning. Newton leading 27-20. Here's a pass to the opposite block to Kelderman. Not an easy pass, but Kelderman pinned the ball onto her hip as she went on a drive against the taller Maher. That was a tough pass to find her, but Oskaloosa, they trimmed what was a 14-point lead down to 7 as we start this fourth quarter. Emery Songer, John Henry with you. And John, one thing I also forgot to mention is the fact that you went to Newton.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Some of these girls right here, I know their parents, Marvelli and Ray Maher. I knew their dads, and it's kind of weird, but I'm enjoying it. We're still in our 2-3 zone, and he is holding the ball again.
Yeah, Coach Sharp has his team on a 10-game losing streak, and it looks like at this point he's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that gets broken.
I think he's trying to get them out of the zone.
It's not a bad idea, actually.
I think he's going to hold it until they go man-to-man.
That's a foul away from the ball on Kelderman. That's just her first, and that's only the first team foul Oskaloosa's committed here in this first half, so or in the second half, rather. It may not be a terrible thing to start getting a couple of non-shooting fouls as they draw up a play. Marvelli gets it, drives by a couple of players, mid-range jump shot, left it short.
We had switched back to man-to-man there. I don't know if it was just for the out-of-bounds play or for good.
Here, Denberger got the board and brings it up. Bounce pass, Nelson open. She's a three-point shooter and knocks it down.
Yes, I love it. 4-point game. And
we got ourselves a ball game.
We are back in the zone.
Now we'll see. Brandon Sharp's not going to be able to hold the ball very long if this game continues to stay this close.
They must have just went man-to-man for the out-of-bounds because we're back in a 2-3 zone. Oh, now we're matching up.
Yeah, Coach White sees what she wants, and she wants to show some pressure here. 27-23. Forsyth fouled by Holmberg. But like I said, Coach, if this game gets close, you don't want to have to spend 30 seconds trying to catch up so you can force some free throws. Yeah. Getting a couple, three here.
Be aggressive there. If you get the steal, you do. If you don't, then you're still, you're trying to get towards the bonus.
The foul was on Faye, her first. Inbound comes to Marvelli. Kelderman picks her up. It's over to Maher. Back to the left wing, and Marvelli tries to get a screen. And then goes back, and Coach Sharp says spread it out. Oskaloosa within 4 with 6:20 to go fourth quarter. It's 27-23. Newton with the lead. Coach White saying get closer.
She wants us to pressure the ball. Oh, there it is.
Nelson nearly poked that away, and a good job by Ryan to find Maher. They're out beyond the volleyball line just playing catch right now. Oskaloosa, they know they're trying to shorten this game.
Having lost 10 games in a row, I'm not sure how comfortable Newton is doing this.
Well, and Randy Walters is their leading scorer, and she's ineligible. So not having your best player available has definitely hurt them in more ways than one. As Marvelli up at the top, left open, able to leave it for Maher.
If we stay aggressive, I think we'll force a turnover.
Well, Newton just very content not even to look at trying to draw up a play to get a shot. And there's a terrible pass by Ryan.
There it is.
Don't know what that was, but Oskaloosa will take it as now they'll get the starter, Rachel Rhodes, back in to replace Ryan.
Lindsay Holmberg is my son Cole Henry's girlfriend, and he was telling me before the game that she swore that they would win tonight.
That's quite, as Stenberger shuffled the feet.
So I would really like to see that happen for her.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, you talk about a girl that's been here since her freshman year and goes to all the open gyms, goes to all the practices and gives 100% energy. She deserves it. I mean, the whole team deserves it, but especially somebody like her who's been a leader on this team as a junior.
With 5:20 left, we need another turnover.
27-23, and you got to start capitalizing on the offensive end. You can't just give them back turnovers without getting a shot up. As Denberger was called for a travel on the last time down. 5:08 left here, and again, Newton perfectly fine just getting themselves into an offense that does not require shot attempts. Coach White begging her players to have active hands as Bestel working on Faye.
Oh, she traveled.
And they're going to call a foul on Lindsay on the pass, I
thought she drug her foot there a little bit.
I believe that's just the first on Holmberg, and it is just a third team foul. Foul trouble not a problem for Oskaloosa at this point, but like we said, it wouldn't kill them to maybe get a few fouls so they can try to force free throws later. As Marvelli on the inbound, long on the free throw. Again, Faye out rebounded, but blocks the shot by Bestel. Ball loose. Holmberg gets on the floor, forces the jump. It'll stay with Newton. You got to. Amanda Faye is just a freshman. She's very tall. She's got some skills, some good touch. But overall, Coach, you'd like to see her, much like Marley Denberger, just be very aggressive and attack that ball.
And Bestel's strength there was the difference. I mean, she was just way too strong.
Inbound comes to Bestel out beyond the elbow. She'll hand it off to Maher, and Newton can reset their offense. Again, Marvelli open for three. This time she misses again. And
Job by Kelderman boxing out again.
And she is fouled all the way down the floor. But again, Newton in a very similar position as Oskaloosa. It's not free throws and not a killer for them, as Rhodes just gets her second foul. 27-23. Now Oskaloosa has to capitalize because the offensive possessions are getting fewer and farther between with Newton running this stalling offense. 4.5 to go. Here's Kelderman, knocked out of bounds by Forsythe. It stays here.
I wanted that foul call on Forsythe so we could get closer to our one-on-one, because that might be our best offense right now is to get to the free throw line.
Wouldn't be terrible. Holmberg looking to inbound. Rhodes guarding the inbound. Faye catches it, has her shot affected, but Holmberg comes out of there with the rebound. Here's a mid-ranger by Denberger, can't get it, and then Kelderman can't handle the rebound. It goes back to Newton. That's a good inbound entry pass, but just being strong with the ball for Amanda Faye has been a problem at the varsity level.
Yes.
Again, a lot of skill.
She's got the length, too.
They find Rhodes. She pump fakes. Holmberg just comes down there and takes it away. She wants to run.
Be aggressive.
She's going to go all the way. Tough shot, but she's going to draw a foul and get 2 free throws. This has been a spot. Lindsay did split free throws earlier today, but came in at just 31% from the line, and these are a couple of big ones. If you're able to split them again, you have created a one-possession game, and with a player like Mary Nelson, you're still within range if you have to shoot a three-point shot. Unfortunately, heel of the rim on the first attempt.
That's not a bad miss. I mean, it was right on, just a little bit long. Let's get this one. 1 out of 2 at 31%. We'll take it 1 out of 2.
Absolutely. As Rhodes comes out, they're going to go big with Blom.
Hold your follow through. There it is.
Got it. Good eye, Coach.
Atta baby, Lindsay.
27-24, 4 minutes to go, and we got ourselves a ball game here. Oskaloosa, how do they react being in a close ball game? Here's Forsythe, and she's going to draw another reach-in foul. One thing that they've been able to rely on is she is able to get past whoever's guarding her with a good first step.
Yeah, we don't have an athlete that can stay in front of her.
That's the second foul on Kelderman, just the 4th team foul on Oskaloosa. Nelson knocked down away from the ball, charging foul.
That's our 7th team as well.
So any foul now will result, except for an offensive foul like that, any loose ball foul or defensive foul.
As Newton's coach, Brandon Sharp, can't have is you can't have a team like Oskaloosa start to believe that they can beat you at home, and this huge crowd is now into the game.
Here's Holmberg well outside the right arc. They look to set up an offensive play. Hand off to Denberger. They want her to create. Picked up by Marvelli. They go over to the right corner. They go high, too high for Holmberg, but Kelderman on the backside able to grab it, and the ball knocked out of bounds by Forsythe again. She's just got her hands on everything.
Do you know how many quarters Jillian Jennings played of JV?
I think she played all 4, honestly.
Okay.
That's why we haven't seen her.
Has she played her 2 in this one?
Yep, she played the second and the third. And
okay.
Yeah, so she's played both. Nelson, nobody communicated the fact that she had double coming, and Oskaloosa actually fortunate that it was a jump ball that they were able to keep possession here, but somebody's got to communicate with her that a second player's coming. It was Holmberg from the corner, not an easy place to inbound the ball. Bounces it into Kelderman.
We need to get the ball to Marley. There we go.
Marley
be aggressive.
Goes over to the right side, gets it to Nelson. Again, Nelson, and they're going to call a quick jump ball. That's a bad break for Oskaloosa. And it'll give it right back to Newton.
If he calls a reach in there, Maher's done. That could have been huge.
With free throws for your best actual shooter.
Yep. That's a big call, especially with 3:20.
3:20 left, and we'll see. Newton has played a stall offense really this entire fourth quarter, and I'm sure they're going to stick with it here. Although they did draw up some quick attempts for Marvelli. They go, Bestel, she has no intention to shoot the ball, out to the top to Marvelli, who goes to Forsyth. Forsyth, I believe, has played every second of this game. Forsyth crossover, had space, but again kicks it out. Bestel saves it from going out of bounds, and they'll set it back up top. 2:50 now left in the fourth quarter. Oskaloosa down 3, but hanging in here. If they can get a stop, Newton hasn't scored this quarter running this offense.
We need to get more active on the ball, try to come up with deflections or steals, because they're running way too much time off this clock.
Kelderman trying to stick with Maher, who loses her, and the 5 count is off. Now she'll drive to the right. Faye's going to get called for a blocking foul, trying to kind of shift down to the bottom. That's the 5th team foul, and for Faye, that's number 2. I mean, Coach Sharp knows I don't have a lot of options offensively. Nobody is a knockdown shooter or somebody I can post up. And there's going to be a foul underneath. A hold, I believe, on Nelson. It is. Nelson was getting screened off for a player and kind of reached to grab her so she didn't get open. So that's a 6-team foul. It will be free throws from now on as the inbound pass through the hands of Bestel. She surveys and then fires it back out to the top to Blom with 2.5 to go fourth quarter. It's Newton 27, Oski 24. The crowd begging Oskaloosa to get closer and try to trigger the 5 count.
Yeah, get out there and try to get a deflection, piece of the pass.
They have their best dribbler with the ball. She loses Holmberg, does Forsyth. Goes back to Marvelli out by the volleyball line. Coach Brandon Sharp saying, keep it up. Marvelli loses her player, nearly palmed the ball, but is able to get it into the corner to Maher, who dribbles it all the way back to the center circle. Oskaloosa eventually is going to have to say, we can't mess around anymore. They go to the corner to Blom. She'll dribble it back to the top. And Oski's just too far away from the ball. You got to start taking some chances and making things happen down 3 here. Ball loose, taken away by Holmberg. Holmberg racing Forsyth, and Forsyth's going to foul her on the way down the floor. It's not a bad play by Forsyth, but an excellent play by Holmberg defensively.
Yeah, she's really brought some energy here in this second half.
You got now, but with 1:43 left, no matter what happens in these free throws, you know you're not going to have a tie game. You got to find a way defensively to stay high intensity here.
Get out there like we did that time. Pressure the basketball.
First free throw, the 1-and-1. Heel of the rim, missed. Forsyth the rebound. Oskaloosa comes up empty on that particular trip. But now you, as mentioned, with 1:37 and counting, you have to go after some steals here. And Coach Sharp knows there's only one 3-point shooter in Oskaloosa's team, and that's Mary Nelson, so he'll be able to draw up a defense to not let Nelson get a free look. You got to get the ball back. Here's Forsyth, just holding it.
Got to pressure her. Get out there. You got to pressure. We got to have the ball.
Now there's going to call a foul on Denberger, and I don't mind that at all.
That's okay. They're not running clock off.
No, you got to find a way at least to stop the clock or force the jump ball, which is what Marley was trying to do, reaching in there.
I'm seeing Coach Schultz and Coach White telling the players to come out there. I'm not sure if we have the experience of knowing your time and possession right here. And this is going to be a good learning tool for this program is, inside 3 minutes or even 2 minutes or now, minute 17, you're down 3. They're just holding the ball. We can't do this. You got to get out there trying to make something happen.
Oskaloosa just called a full timeout. What is she telling the girls now?
We can't sit back. Even if we foul, we still got to try to get the ball. If we foul, then they're shooting free throws. We'll take our percentages. If we do foul, we'll get the rebound, try to take it down, be really, really aggressive. Also, you only have 1 timeout left. I'm sure they're talking about that as well.
Addison Blom, 52, who's a bench player but in the game, she is the best they have at the free throw line that's out there that's shot more than 3 shots this season. She's a 69% shooter. Everyone else is around 50% or worse that they have. So
it's a lot easier to shoot free throws when you're down by 30 than it is in a tight game like this where you know these free throws matter.
But they already are a team free throw wise is basically equal of Oskaloosa, and I believe I can't remember who they fouled. We'll see who goes to the free throw line, but if it's Blom, it's their best, and I believe it is Blom. So
52.
Yep, so she's going to go to the line. She came off the bench, but I'm sure she's in the game for this particular purpose, and she was in the game for this particular purpose, that if she did get fouled, she's the best free throw shooter they have.
Coach Sharp is taking all the girls off the line for this one-on-one free throw. So if she misses it, I like our chances of getting the rebound.
That's 4-on-1 down there. And he's shown a lot of faith in Blom. One make makes it a 2-possession game. The front end on the way.
Oh my gosh!
Nobody got the rebound. She missed the layup and the rebound out of bounds to Newton. My mistake. Yeah,
I should not have said that, and I apologize to everybody. I think I cursed them.
Somebody's got to know it's a 1-on-1.
Yeah,
the referee's saying 1-on-1.
You got to box out. There should have been 2 people boxing out the shooter there.
Unreal. That's the inexperience Oskaloosa brings to the table.
Foul again.
Marley does. It's her 4th. So now you probably need to have somebody else do the fouling. Yeah, that just
can't box
happen.
The shooter there. Yeah, that can't happen, girls.
No, there is zero excuse for something like that happening.
I feel bad for having said it, but I didn't think there was any way we wouldn't at least box her.
It may never have happened in the history of basketball until then. Here we go. Front end of the 1-on-1 again. This one long again. This time it's Denberger, and Oskaloosa still within a possession here, 27-24.
We got a chance.
Marley bounces it to Fay, over to Kelderman. How do they want to attack this? It's Holmberg. And bounces it to Kelderman, over to Nelson. The only 3-point shooter they have is Mary Nelson. Here's Denberger. She'll probe. Nowhere to go. Double team. Tries to save it off Marvelli. But I believe Denberger was standing out of bounds when she touched the ball.
Yeah, she had 1 foot out of bounds. She tried to throw it off Marvelli, and it came back to her. She had a foot on the out of bounds.
Coach White trying to prod her girls to get into the front court. And
there it is.
And the bad pass goes right back to Oskaloosa, and the crowd back into it.
47.2 to play. We're down by 3, Emery.
When do you draw up a play for a 3 right now? You know your possessions are in and out. You can't get good shots anywhere on the floor. When do you just draw up a 3 for Nelson?
Well, I don't know if you do it right now. I think if you've got one of your best set plays for a quick 2, go with that.
Here's Holmberg to inbound.
Oh, there was Fay.
They get it to Denberger, and then she is going to be forced to jump from behind. Again, Blom just kind of sneaking. She did the same thing to Kelderman down here in the corner.
We missed Fay on the inbounds. She broke open late, and I think Lindsay was worried about a 5 count.
45.5 left. Oskaloosa maintains possession, but Marvelli knocks it out of bounds. It'll stay here. Now the possession arrow, though, is in Newton's favor. As many jump balls as we've seen, now Newton would get the ball back if there was another. Holmberg in front of her own bench, looking to get it in. Lobs it, knocked away, and stolen again by Forsyth, who's had an unbelievable game. Nelson will foul Forsyth.
She deflected the inbounds pass. What's she from the line?
On the season, as Forsyth walks to the stripe, she came into this game 7 for 16, but made both of her earlier attempts. Front end of the 1-on-1, missed, long rebound.
She got her own rebound.
But she knocked it out of bounds. Denberger, I think, was content to let it go out of bounds, but Forsyth...
Well, Forsyth is just very fast and aggressive.
You ain't going to... No, somebody's got to go back and get the ball.
Throw it.
Holmberg gets it into Nelson. He goes back to Holmberg. 35 seconds left. Oskaloosa's got to start thinking about potentially drawing up a 3. Here's Holmberg, pestered by Forsyth, just throws up a wild shot. Bestel, for some reason...
Call a timeout right now.
Yeah. She's calling a play. Oskaloosa does have 1 timeout remaining, but Coach White doesn't want to burn it.
Got the 2 in the air saying double.
26.8 left. Holmberg to inbound.
There's Kelderman.
Goes to Fay. Turnaround a little short. Rebound off a couple of fingers. 2. And Coach White, I mean, from here it's impossible to tell, but Coach White seems convinced that it was off a Newton finger. And instead, it was Newton's ball. Coach Sharp's going to call a timeout now, which is a break for Oskaloosa, I think. So Coach White can find a way to talk to the girls about who to foul, how quickly to foul, what kind of pressure do you want to give. Also, Newton hasn't passed the ball very accurately, so if you force a long pass, maybe it's a bad pass.
It is a break for Oski to get that timeout, but Coach Sharp is also thinking we threw it away a little while ago off the inbound. So both teams get to regroup here.
Well, this has been an exciting game, and Oskaloosa can say that this is a victory just to be in a competitive matchup. Offensively, though, eventually, maybe not this season, but by next year, you'd like to have 2 or 3 options that you could legitimately go to. If Marley gets in foul trouble, you'll be able to go to player X or player Y, somebody who will be able to get you points. And it wasn't
and
until
you learned a lot of situations tonight. The free throw box outs, handling the ball, taking care of it, time and possession, letting them run the time off. There's a lot of really good things tonight, and it's not over. We're not saying it's over, folks. We can still hit a three, send this in overtime, something like that. But if we're not to win tonight, a lot of good things come from this. These girls, one way or another, they've played their hearts out. It's been a great second half.
Well, they've shut out Newton, knock on wood, for the entire fourth quarter.
They haven't scored this quarter. Yeah, they only have 7 points for the half. I mean, it's 22-8 at halftime. It's 24-27 right now.
Inbound pass. They find Forsyth on the inbound. They got to try to do something. It is a jump ball.
Still Newton's possession, though.
But that's important, though, because it gives the possession arrow now back to Oskaloosa.
If you can do it again, you get the ball.
Holmberg trying to steal the inbound.
I don't think we have to foul right away. I'd trap the first pass, and then if they get to the second pass, then I'd foul.
Oskaloosa confused at who has the basketball. But now these young players for the Indians, these inexperienced players now get in position defensively. They're in a man-to-man press. Forsyth just looking to try to get it in, gets it to Maher. Somebody's got a foul. Kelderman will. With 16.6 left, and now Peyton Maher, who will go to the line 57.1%, just 8 of 14 on the year.
Two shots, though. It's the 10th.
And that is going to be a double. Yeah, it's a double bonus situation now. And right now, she's going to get 2 chances to try to put this game away for the Cardinals. Front end, off the mark. And it's a 2-shot foul. Coming into the game is Bestel for defensive purposes to replace Rhodes. And Maher will have one more. Blom and Forsyth both go up to her and say, we got this.
You see Coach White wants a timeout.
Makes the second. That's a huge free throw.
She wanted a timeout.
Here is Nelson. She'll run it up.
Oh, she was going to have a good look, too.
Yeah. But at the same time, I had many conversations as Coach White calls a timeout here to draw something up. 13.8 left, Oskaloosa down 28-24. She says Mary catch and shoot is probably 20% better than Mary on the dribble.
Okay.
So I've talked to JC in this gym, outside this gym, and she always wants to talk about the girls. She always wants to talk about the games, and that's an encouraging sign for a young head coach who's going through an 0-16 season.
Oh, I think she's fantastic. She's a perfect person for this job.
That's a tough ask.
Yeah.
William Penn, when you were playing there, I mean, it wasn't pretty.
I've had some conversations with her, too. I once went through a season where we won 2 games and lost 30. We lost 30 games in one season, so I know how she feels. I think we were inventing ways to lose back then, and everything was part of the learning curve. And I know that one day Oski girls will be winning ball games.
Well, we know they're competitive at the JV level with most of these same players, and as other teams' JV girls come back to the varsity level, Oskaloosa's still going to have these same girls. So today's just a preview of the competitiveness you'll see, but I imagine the offense is going to improve. I imagine the defense is going to improve and situation is going to improve. As Kelderman set to inbound out of the timeout, Oski down 4 in need of a made shot and some help. Here's Holmberg. Gets it to Denberger. Denberger faces up, turns, pulls up from 15. Tough shot, long. Rebound loose. It's tipped out by Marvelli. Eventually, Denberger gets it, but there's 3 seconds on the clock. She's going to lob it. Holmberg's going to shoot the mid-ranger and miss, and that'll do it for the ball game. But Oskaloosa, for the first time this season, plays in a very highly competitive game in this gym and gets a standing ovation from this crowd as they know the struggle of these young Indians. And this game was just a glimpse, Coach, into what the future is going to hold for this team.
Yeah, there's some really good things tonight, and obviously the girls are going to be upset because they were right there and couldn't get it done, but you're getting better. And like I said before, I have so much respect for the coaches and the girls because at 0-17, every night I come to these games and I keep looking for somebody to quit or somebody to pout or just, you're 0-17, and every night they come and they do their best. We're a little limited with skill, but they come every night and nobody's quitting on the season.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Coach and I are going to break down what we just saw in the girls' game. And the top-ranked Oskaloosa boys, as you see there on your screen, are getting set to take on the Newton Cardinals and All-Stater Garrett Sturtz. That's coming your way in a little bit. We'll take a break, come back with a mid-game report after this on the No Coast Network.
For over 30 years, Pella Printing has been leading the way in the print industry with quality equipment, modern facilities, and skilled staff. The Pella approach combines old-world craftsmanship with today's cutting-edge technology to provide brilliant printed products at a value price. They take the time to understand clients' needs from design to pre-press to printing and delivery to build lasting relationships with their customers. Whether you need personalized graduation announcements, oversized posters and banners, marketing materials, or stationery, Pella Printing offers a broad assortment of quality printed products done with speed and precision. Pella Printing, where technology and craftsmanship meet.
Providing high-quality professional eye care with a truly caring staff is what Oskaloosa Vision Center has been doing for more than 30 years. With our state-of-the-art equipment, we can provide comprehensive eye exams, prescription glasses, and contact lenses, as well as medical care like eye infection and disease treatment, emergency eye care, and pre- and post-operative aid. Newborn to adult, we have the experience to meet all your eye care needs. Oskaloosa Vision Center. Come see us today.
Look at that mouth. That poor, parched mouth. What'd you eat for lunch? Chalk dust? Did your face storm a sandcastle? You're being awfully quiet. Is that because your mouth feels like the business end of a Dremel saw? Is it because your mouth just wrote a haiku and all 17 syllables were dry heaves? Right now, your mouth could be tongue bathing in the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Instead, it feels like you've been motorboating King Tut's sarcophagus. Show some mercy. Crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know your mouth wants you to. Do the Dew.
Kevin, meet your father.
Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin. Kevin. Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin.
Trusted advice for life.
Kevin, how's your mom?
Thank you. Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
If you are looking for brand names close to home, then look no further than Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Penn Central Mall has a wide variety of stores for people of all ages. Find the perfect pair of silver or Vigas jeans at Maurice's, get a pair of Oakley sunglasses from the smiling staff at Eye Care Partners, cozy up with Ashley Furniture from Gilworth Furniture, and find that dazzling diamond from Gardner Collier Jewelry. When you're done, grab a bite to eat at Mir and Cheeto or the Pizza Ranch. It's all at Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Shop, walk, and enjoy Penn Central Mall.
At Clow Valve Company, being the premier place to work is part of our core vision, and this includes helping our local community be a premier place to live. Clow cares and is committed to creating a happier and healthier community. By volunteering in local events and fundraisers. By donating to nonprofit organizations. By leaving a better tomorrow than today. Clow is more.
We are Clow Valve.
Back here live in the Crow's Nest, Emery Songer along with William Penn men's basketball coach John Henry. He is my partner this evening. And Coach, you got an opportunity to sit up here in the Crow's Nest and watch Oskaloosa's probably the most competitive game of the season. Now they're 0-18, 0-11, but a 28-24 loss to Newton here. Obviously Newton not at full strength and looked very different the first time these two teams met, but if you're an Oskaloosa fan, and we saw these fans very appreciative of the effort of this young team, and we know that it's going to take some time, but games like this where you actually have your heart thumping and the adrenaline rushing, that's going to be nothing but positive for these girls moving forward.
Well, and the crowd gave them a standing ovation after the game, and that just goes to show you how much these fans appreciate what that effort was tonight.
Oskaloosa's leading scorer in the game was three different players. Lindsey Holmberg, Mary Nelson, and Marley Denberger all finished with 6 points in the game. Nelson also had 8 rebounds. Emma Kelderman didn't score, but had 7 boards, 3 assists to lead the way for the team. Holmberg also had 3 steals. Amanda Fay off the bench had 2 blocks. Those are the chief statistics for the Indians. And for Denberger, the first quarter, Newton finished strong with a couple of turnovers in the full court press and were able to get layups on the other end. They eventually led 10-3 at the end of that first quarter. The second quarter, Newton won by 7. Oski won the third quarter by 7. Those canceled out. Oskaloosa only scored 4 points in the fourth. Newton only scored 1 point in the fourth. But really, the game came down to really the last 2 or 3 minutes of that first quarter when Denberger was stuck on the bench with foul trouble, and Oskaloosa had a hard time getting it into the front court against Brandon Sharp's full court pressure.
Yeah, I think we made an adjustment there and let Denberger bring the ball down the floor after she came back in. Another thing that I think that they might look back at is letting Newton run so much time off the clock late in the third quarter, and then most of the fourth quarter they held the ball.
9 minutes, the last 9 minutes of the game, honestly, I would say of the 9 minutes, a solid 6.5 were probably played in the Newton front court, and I might be even generous in saying that. So Oskaloosa was patient defensively, didn't really start showing a lot of pressure and fouling until the last couple of minutes. But that's exactly what Coach Brandon Sharp was hoping would happen, and he was able to escape here, breaking a 10-game losing streak. And now the Cardinals are 4-15 overall and 2-9 in Little Hawkeye Conference play. They were led by Taylor Ryan off the bench, who scored 8 first-half points. She finished with 8. That still was the team high. 9 rebounds for Allie Bestel. She also had a couple of blocks defensively. Anna Forsyth may have been the most important player, though, for Newton. She finished with 6 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, a block, a couple of made free throws, and also made a lot of hustle plays, deflecting balls, and helping force jump balls on both ends of the floor. I think she was the most important player on the floor tonight.
One thing that me and you failed to notice was Taylor Ryan, the leading scorer for Grinnell, was the one who rolled her ankle and didn't play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's a big miss for them.
Yeah,
with the girl that was ineligible or whatever.
Yeah, and Randy Walters, that's the girl that was ineligible, and she came in 12.5 points per game. She's been out the last couple of weeks due to ineligibility. And that's one thing that if you're looking at Newton, if she were able to come back before the regionals were start, you might give them a chance to win a first-round game. Well, her ineligibility expires the day after their first round. So they're going to have to find a way to make this work, at least through one playoff game.
And I was impressed with Coach Brandon Sharp. The fact that he put in they ran a stall game. You said they lost 10 games in a row. When have they been working on that?
Right, exactly.
And they showed some composure. They didn't freak out. They're losing to Oskaloosa. The crowd's into it. They showed a lot of composure, and I was impressed by him. His dad is the head coach over at Grinnell, so he's been in a lot of different situations.
Yeah, Scott Sharp, and he's had a lot of success over there. And I said this in the pregame. One thing that I feel is when you look at the Grinnell boys team now, Ofer, when has Scott Sharp ever said he's been Ofer?
Yeah.
You have to have some players, and you have to have them developed at a certain point, and that's what Coach White's kind of challenge is going to be, is trying. Now, Grinnell's been there. They know they've had success. They know Coach Sharp's a great coach. JC's trying to prove herself as a coach and trying to bring a young group with her, and that's going to be a challenge for the next few years.
Oh, absolutely, and you got to do it in the off season as well. Get these girls playing some ball outside of just November through March. And see, with all that youth, you never know what could happen from year to year. Somebody could grow, somebody could develop, and you never know, as long as you just keep at it. And that's one thing that they've done this entire year that I mentioned. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time I've said it, is I'm just so impressed with this group of girls and that coaching staff at being 0-18 that somebody hasn't quit or just not given full effort. But they play as hard from the tip to the end, whether they're tied or like tonight down 3 or down by 60 or 70. I know how crazy that sounds, but I don't see any less effort no matter what the score is, and that's a tribute to Coach White and the girls.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, I'll have a quick chat with Coach J.C. White after this right here on the No Coast Network.
If you think there's room for improvement in your investment game plan, or that maybe you should send in some new plays, take a time out and talk to an experienced investment professional. I'm Bob Auld of Robert Auld Investments, an investment advisor with over 31 years of experience in Oskaloosa and Southern Iowa. Let me help you find some new strategies. Call 673-9448 or 1-800-444-AULD.
Robert Auld is a registered representative offering securities and investment advisory services through SagePoint Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC.
We're back here. The Oskaloosa boys are warming up. We'll be talking about them in a second, but quickly, I'm here with Coach J.C. White of the Oskaloosa girls basketball team. Coach, this is the most competitive game you've been in this gym all season long. You unfortunately fell 28-24, but we learned a lot about this team and these girls tonight. What did you learn about them?
I've known it all season long that these girls are going to fight and they're going to do what they can to come back. I mean, we got ourselves at a 12-point deficit early in the first quarter, and we fought back and we turned this into a game. As far as the end-of-game situations, that's the first time they've been in that this year, and I thought they responded well, and panicked a little bit at times, but we're fairly composed for not being in those situations.
Yeah, overall in the game, you could really draw that the end of the first quarter was really the biggest and most important part of the game. Newton got a couple of steals with their full court pressure, got some layups, ended up taking a 7-point lead into the second quarter, and were able to build that up to as much as 14 early in the second half. But it was Molly Denberger getting in early foul trouble that really kind of flipped the script, and you didn't have a real identifiable offensive target in the offensive end to try to generate points. What were you trying to do, and what could you do differently if you had an opportunity to kind of rewrite this game, especially the first quarter?
I'd give up that foul trouble. I mean, we got in foul trouble with a couple of our guards as well on the defensive end. Marley is someone that really opens up shots on the outside for Mary and for some of our shooters, and we just didn't have that presence inside. I thought that Jillian and Amanda came in and played hard and did good things as well, but we got to work to stay out of foul trouble and keep that inside presence.
JC, I could talk to you about this game because I know this is one that, even though it was a loss, at a certain point, it feels like a win because now, hey, these girls know what a close game feels like. So they'll be able to take that moving forward. But Coach, we're gonna start seeing these dubs come around in the next couple of years, and it's gonna be fun. But thanks so much for joining us up here in the booth.
This has been Oskaloosa Indians basketball action on the No Coast Network.
Brought to you by Mahaska, Bank Iowa, Clow Valve Company, Kelly Style Insurance, Oskaloosa Area Chamber, Petrito Orthodontics, Hawkeye Real Estate, Swim Sports, Awards and Screen Printing, Raymond James Financial Services, William Penn University, Fairway, Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, Roxfort's Decorating Center, Pella Printing, Penn Central Mall, Oskaloosa Vision Center, Robert Auld Investments, and Mahaska Drug.
This has been a presentation of the No Coast Network.